Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today as we talk about mental health issues, money issues, life issues, and oh, by the way, it all goes together because, by God, it's Thanksgiving week. So here we go.
Whew, it is Thanksgiving.
Game on. The beautiful part about Thanksgiving is you get to see your family, and the crazy part about Thanksgiving week is you get to see your family. Open phones at 888-825-5225 as we talk about life and money right here on the Ramsey Show. Before we get out of the hour, I'm not going to do it right now, but just be thinking about this. I'm going to come to you, and you're going to give us some advice for dealing with Thanksgiving.
Oh, man.
All of us. We'll just get some clinical advice. We'll just have a little counseling session for America.
This time tomorrow, I'm going to be in a deer blind in the woods. That's about as good as I can give. But
avoidance is your technique.
Avoidance and hiding in
this
in
is
the
your
woods.
technique.
That's right. But
okay.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some good ideas.
Okay. All
there
right.
we go.
All right.
I like it. I'm in.
All right. We'll start this hour off with Renee in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Renee, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
This feels strange. Okay. So we got some insurance money for a really bad reason, and we lost our little girl, and so we're having a hard time, knowing what is the best thing to do with this at this point. From my perspective, I would like to relocate closer to family, and from his perspective, he would like to not blow it because our income is not hot right now. And that's basically where we're at. We used a little bit of it to finish some of the debt snowball, but we'd be left with $100K in student loans, $200 in our house, and 30 left over from the money.
My goodness. How long ago did you lose your daughter?
It was last June 2020. That terrible year.
Yeah.
So it's been... Yeah, it's just hard to do it. My husband told me last night, he's like, there's no way. I do not want to put her money on those,
How, I can hear another kid. You got other little ones.
You've
too?
obviously got a little baby, right?
Yeah. We got a baby here and a 2-year-old.
How old was your daughter?
She was 2.
She was 2. What was her name?
Clara.
What was it? A car wreck or what?
We were crossing the street and she was stopped. I thought I saw her wave, but I couldn't see her very well. She says she didn't see us.
Oh man,
I'm so sorry.
I know that's accurate, but
yeah,
that's my
I understand.
Rabbit hole.
So the insurance check is how much?
It was
$50,000?
Yes. And that actually was not from her insurance. That was from our insurance for underinsured motorists. So we did not sign any documents. I guess for our part, suing her still isn't not on the table. But anyway,
okay.
I guess emotionally we get in a corner.
Here's the thing. Okay, the horrible tragedy you've been through is a 20 on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? What you do with the money is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
And you guys are equating, especially your husband is with the statement he made, you're equating the use of this money somehow, the weight of the use of the money, you're weighing it the same as the tragedy, and they're not even on the same planet.
Gotcha.
It's just $50,000. It doesn't even matter in comparison to what your all's hearts have been through.
And if you try to make the expense...
If you set it in the middle of the floor and burn it, it doesn't change anything.
Right. And if you want to equate the gravity of this 50, like what you spend this on, it's got to equal the weight of the importance of our little baby girl. That math will never work.
Yeah.
How long ago did you get this check?
Recently, like a few months ago.
What's your household income?
We're about $38,000 a year, I think.
Did you say you were thinking of relocating? Did I hear you say that earlier?
Yeah, I would. We're kind of off here. It's an hour commute from his work, which in today's crazy housing.
You live on the street where the accident occurred?
No.
Okay.
It's down the corner, down the road.
Okay,
down.
That's good.
But,
right. So you're thinking of do you own the home you're in?
We have $2,000 on it.
You have what?
Wait, no, $200,000.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you had a mortgage, so you do own it, but it has a mortgage on it.
So take the money out of here. Take the tragedy away. You got 2 little kids? Were you intending to steer your family back closer towards family?
Oh, I would love to. This is kind of where we found something in our budget, and we thought, hour drive, it's not that big of a deal. An hour drive
is bonkers for $38,000 a year.
Yeah,
that feels heavy.
I wouldn't make an hour drive for $138,000 a year. So I wouldn't make it, period. But not enough money on the freaking planet. But yeah, it's not like he's got the dream job of all jobs that's worth driving an hour for, especially with you guys having gone through this. So I'm either changing jobs or I'm making a move. As far as this money goes, here's a good idea. Don't do anything with it right now. Just put it in a CD for a year. It is not going to change your life. It doesn't clean up all your debt. It doesn't make anything here easy. It's not $5 million, which if it was that, we'd talk about trying to push through maybe and try to figure out something of what was some basic things to go on. But $50,000, I don't want to belittle the amount of money, but in comparison to what's all going on in your life, I wouldn't even have this discussion.
No.
I would just set it to the side, be in denial about it, about the money for a little bit, and then you guys start talking about making your decisions about your move.
Yeah, because the decisions are getting wound up in the grief and and then it becomes about this money. Yeah, decide whether you're going to move or not. Yeah. Decide we're going to get a new job that my husband doesn't have to be gone 2 hours a day for $38,000.
And here's the thing. I'll put some words in his mouth. He didn't call. He said he couldn't spend her money on this. Honey, it's not her money. She's in heaven. It's your money. Now, how are you going to live your life with your current family after this heartbreak? So if you're going to treat it like her money, just go give it to the church or something and walk away. But it's really not her money. It's money that came because of a horrible, unbelievable, breathtaking tragedy.
If you're ready to get out there and find a job you love, then you need to hear this. Job hunting can be stressful and time-consuming, but my friends at ZipRecruiter have made the whole job search way easier. ZipRecruiter is rated the #1 job site in the U.S. by G2, and it's free. So how does it work? First, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Then create a free profile and let their technology do the hard work by finding and sending you jobs that are a great fit. And get this, ZipRecruiter pitches your profile to companies whose jobs match your skills and experience. If someone from that company likes your profile, they can personally invite you to apply for the job. So if you're ready for an easier job search, check out ZipRecruiter. Sign up for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Sign up today absolutely free and let ZipRecruiter work for you.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So, John, I think it's worth revisiting our last call because it's such a horrible situation, such an unusual situation. The data around, the statistical averages around people losing a child for any reason, accident, disease, anything else, but particularly an accident. The marriage data is not good.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's not friendly. A lot of people lose their marriages. They can't process, one of the two or both can't process through the grief together. I suppose that's what it is. I can't wrap my head around what happened there. Well, I mean, I guess there was just an accident. There was no one at fault, quote unquote. How there's only a $50,000 check involved.
Yeah,
there should be. I kind of would think there's no money, or there's a bazillion dollars.
If you ever see those actuary tables of what, you lose a limb, you lose somebody this age, you lose somebody that age, and it all comes back. It's a heartbreaking actuary table to look at. What was my, dismemberment worth? What was my death worth? Here is the death of. Here's what the quote unquote economic value. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's this
gross.
It's just gross. The whole thing's yuck. Yeah. And it's the insurance company's just trying to put a dollar on it. But to go back to your original statement, we grieve. Everybody grieves so differently that ultimately you get a clash. You often have a clash of grief. Somebody wants somebody to move on, and somebody wants someone to feel this different, and it just causes a split in a marriage. And you really have to be intentional about grieving together and giving space for each other.
And so many times the language of money is where our emotions find their words.
Yeah.
And so when he says if we can't blow her money and stuff like that, that sets off alarm bells in my head.
Mine too.
Because
I don't want to move, and so I've got an excuse.
Well, I it's hard to know because I've never been in this situation, but I can't drive down that street anymore.
No. Can't drive down the street.
My throat is just in my stomach's in my throat talking about it, and I don't even know these people.
That's right.
But so I can't even imagine.
No.
I still drive by exits where, just by an exit where I knew a guy that lived up there, and I have an emotion.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of a thing. Because I've been in the same city my whole life.
Yeah.
And so each of these intersections has some kind of a memory to it, And so
I got pulled over there. I got pulled over there.
I went to jail there when I was 16, whatever. But yeah, but I can't imagine having that kind of a thing associated with a street.
And this is unique because normally you have a major tragedy, and there's in the next couple of months things work themselves out, and you got to face some of these what I call the nuts and bolts realities. Like here's the dollar amount, where's the funeral, who's making the invitations, whatever. This is different because their daughter passed away in June of 2020, and they just got the check last week, right? And I still think your wisdom was right. I still think you put it away for 6 months, 9 months, and you let that. We got to heal. The money's going to stay here, because if we just go jump on something, it's usually going to be something out of emotion.
Well, if she goes and does with it what she wanted, and he feels like they blew her money, that's a violation you're never going to get back.
He could never look at her again.
Yeah,
right.
that begins a process that's not healthy.
And if wife feels like husband is holding this money, our baby's money hostage, and is forcing me down the same road every week, and forcing me to relive this thing where that driver was, my daughter and I were walking across. You got to relive that all the time. That can feel abusive, right? And so it's putting this money away, and what are we going to decide about our life right now? Like, what are we going to do now?
Let's live our life, let's come back to this money after our brains have cleared a little bit of some of the grief fog.
Yeah.
And
I love how you said that. It's the fog of grief. The grief's going to be there, man. She will find herself stronger, and she will have different life experiences. But that moment's there.
It's trauma, and it stays.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. But you do get your
You become resilient. You get stronger.
Well, your critical thinking skills get better and better and better the further you are from the event, assuming you're healing.
Right.
Yeah, that's your only shot at it. And that's why we tell people, like, for instance, a spouse, we've been married 51 years, and he left me $1 million worth of life insurance. What do? I don't know what to do. I've never handled the money before. I don't know. And he died a week ago, that kind of a thing. I always tell that widow or widower in that case to park it.
Freeze.
Just park it for a year. If you can survive without the money and eat, just park it and eat and cry.
Yeah.
And get past some of that, some of it, and get to the point that you can come back. Mm-hmm. Wow. Open phones. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, my co-host. The phone number here, 888-825-5225. Travis is in Lima, Ohio. Hi, Travis. How are you?
How you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. Lima or Lima?
Lima.
Okay. Good. I got it right now. Lima.
Like the bean. What's up?
Like the bean, Ramsey. Come on. All right. What's up?
Yeah. So I make about $40,000 a year. I have $20,000 in savings with a $1,000 emergency fund. I'm planning on, I have a question of, I should have about $30,000 in February, March, and I'm thinking about putting a down payment on a house, or if I should wait for a couple of years to put a bigger down payment on a house to almost pay it off within 15 years, or should I just go ahead and put a down payment on a house now next year and pay it off with the next couple of years of working?
Well, there's nothing rushing you. I didn't hear anything in the discussion that's rushing you. How old are you?
20.
Oh, you said 20. I'm sorry. Did you live at home?
I live with my grandparents. I'm paying them rent. They want me out in February. That's why.
Good.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I like your grandpa. Okay.
That's why I want to see if I should rent for a couple of years and just almost pay off the house.
You dating anybody?
No, I'm single.
Okay.
You going to school?
I was in trade school. I don't have any debt. Don't have any car loans or anything.
What's your trade school? What are you studying?
I do welding. I already graduated. I have a full-time job. I make military tanks.
Oh, okay.
Attaboy, Travis.
Good job, man. All right, so here's the deal. You can go and buy a house if you want, or you can wait. Either one. You're in good enough shape financially. You're young enough. It would be okay to go rent for a year. There's nothing wrong with that, and use that year to build up even some more cash. No harm in that either. You would only be 21 when you bought your house, and that's still very young. And there's no harm in that. No harm in buying a house when you're young, but there's nothing that says you're brilliant for doing it young. I will tell you, as a young single guy, that when you meet that lady and marry her, you will discover you have purchased the wrong home. And you'll get to move again.
And you decorated it terrible.
Well, we know that. For sure you didn't decorate it. But, where did you get this furniture? But, that's going to happen. But that's okay. That's not the end of the world. You can sell it and move again and make some money on it, I suppose, right? Is the market there fairly good? Can you move a house?
Yeah, it's pretty high. I was just wondering, because I know you said, this is kind of like the 2008 era of the house market.
It's the opposite. I just
want to go. Opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
Travis, if I'm you, brother, I would rent for a year. Yeah. I would let somebody else fix my sink and my shower, where I just hustled and grind it out. And
pile up some money.
Made a bunch of money. Let the market cool off.
You might purchase a different house after you've been a renter for a year than you would purchase now.
Yeah.
I think you'll gain some wisdom.
That's what I would do. But feel free, man.
I think I would. Neither one we're going to put you in the stupid column, okay? But I think probably a little bit wiser would be let's rent for a year.
I like the idea of being old enough to buy champagne on the day you buy your house. That sounds good, right?
This is the Ramsey Show. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Kelsey and Robbie are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're awesome.
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Dallas, Texas.
Welcome to Nashville. Happy week of Thanksgiving. Good to have you. And up here to do a debt-free scream, how much did you pay off?
$44,900.
All right. And how long did that take?
26 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
91,000 up to 103, and then down to 81,000.
Cool. All right. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a veterinary assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a product manager and back-end developer for a mobile gaming company.
Good for you. Good. So what kind of debt was this $45,000?
It was mostly mine. Student loan debt, just a couple thousand of medical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How long y'all been married?
7 years.
7 years. So 5 years into your marriage, almost 4.5 years, something happened and you decided we're going to check out this Ramsey stuff. Tell us your Ramsey story. What happened?
Well, our daughter who's here with us was born. Plans around her birth kind of changed, and so we had to kind of come together and refocus some things. I'm the nerd. She's the free spirit, and so trying to figure out like how to get her on board with things is kind of like the first start of everything, but she's ultimately the one that was like, okay, I've been listening to Ramsey on podcasts and everything. We need to get serious and focused. And I was like, all right, finally, let's go. Let's do it.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
So how did you find us on the radio,
accurate.
Robbie?
We kind of always knew about you. My parents had hosted some Financial Peace University classes growing up, so I was a Financial Peace baby. But we finally took it seriously and stopped being fake adults and got with it.
What happened around the birth?
Well, so we had planned for a home birth and had gone through all the steps of doing that. And how long were you in labor?
3 days.
3 days. So ultimately had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, time to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Which we
about 3 days before that.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So insurance doesn't pay for hospital births, so we paid that up front, and then we had to still turn around and go to the hospital. So it's like we paid double.
Oh wow.
And so when we got that bill, we were, it was like and then I, got sick a few months later and we had to go back to the hospital, and then so it was just like, everything was just piling up, and yeah.
It was a snowball in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, you got the stress, but you also have the new birth, which always wakes you up and goes, this just got real. I got to get serious now. Yeah. The first baby does that. It kind of gives you the wake-up call, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, way to go, you guys. $45,000, boom. $2,000 a month, 26 months later, you're done.
Yeah. One thing we wanted to talk about during the whole process of the 26 months, the reason our income had gone up and gone down was because we did some side hustles. He did pizza delivery, like you always recommend, and did that. So he didn't have any days off for about 6 or 7 months.
Wow.
And we also did dog boarding in our home. So, like all of this past summer, we had as many as 9 dogs in our house.
It was a lot.
But everybody wanted to get out and go on vacation. vacation this summer, since things were opening up. So
you were happy to take their money.
Exactly.
Yes. And so we did that. I also, when our income went back down, that's due to I had a career change. So I decided during COVID that I didn't want to be in sales anymore. I wanted to go back to school to do my passion, which is veterinary work. So I'm a veterinary assistant right now. I work at a vet's office, and I'm in school to become a licensed veterinary nurse.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're cash flowing that.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Okay, what was the best month of dog boarding? What's the most money you made in a month dog boarding?
Oh my gosh. There's a picture up there. So I think, I don't know about a full month, but over like June, July, August, we made $3,000. Yeah, so like $1,000 a
month. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your best month delivering pizza?
Probably close to that. I mean, nothing really miraculous happened. It was just, determination and focus. Yeah.
Another thing.
Hustle and grind.
Oh,
Hustle
yes.
and grind,
Another thing that was a bump in the road was was it last summer?
Yeah, so it was actually like closer to the spring of 2020, like right after things started shutting down.
Yeah.
Our AC unit went out.
Of course.
Of course it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that was right when the first relief was coming in. Plus we had a little bit in our account, and we were able to cash flow an entire new AC unit because of this program, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well, before that, when that happened, it was going to be like $12,000 to get a new AC for our house, and everybody was telling us just get a credit card and you can pay it off and this and that, and we were just really firm with no, we're not doing that. We will live through the summer in Texas without air conditioning because we are not getting another credit card to do that. So that when the government relief came in, I felt like that was just a blessing that we were trusting the plan, and it came at just the right time, and we were able to negotiate a cash deal as
much
well.
less
to bring
than
it
that.
down.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Stick to the plan and follow it. Do the baby steps.
Yeah.
And
You're
don't
gonna
be
have to say
babyish.
you have to say no to a lot of things,
Yes.
but ultimately that'll allow you to say yes to a lot of things.
Was it worth it?
It
Definitely.
was.
Yeah.
It was.
Will you go back in debt?
No.
Never.
Hey,
No.
they were ready.
No.
They were ready to walk through a Texas summer with no air conditioning. People say I was ready to walk through hell. That's not as hot as a Texas summer with no air conditioning. So, man, y'all were ready to go through it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Way to go, guys.
Way to go, heroes. Well done.
Thank you.
We got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's the next chapter in your story to go on and become baby steps millionaires. You're on your way to do that. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone, pay it forward, and maybe they can start their journey like you guys did. So very, very proud of you. And you brought your daughter. What is her name and age?
Her name is Autumn, and she's 3.
All right. Ready for a debt-free scream from Texas.
Oh, she's beautiful. Look at that.
Look at her. Cute as a button. That's fun. All right, it's Autumn, Kelsey, and Robbie from Dallas, Texas. $45,000 paid off in 26 months, making 91 to 103 to 81. Lots of side hustles. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
We're debt free! Look at that! Wow, that smile. Look at that.
That's how you change a family tree right there. Autumn, she's not old enough that she will remember this, but she will have now grown up in a family that doesn't borrow money, and grow up in a family that goes on to become wealthy, and grow up in a family that has outrageous generosity because they have the means to be outrageous.
And grows up in a family that knows for 7 or 8 months we can do anything. Grows up in a house where mom says, you know what, I'm worth more than going to a job that I hate. I'm going to do something that I love, and I'm going to put in the time and the effort. She's going to grow up with a totally different ethos in that home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It
started with the baby steps.
It all changed in the last 30 months.
Yeah, man.
In the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
In the middle of all the stuff, and you still got to make these decisions and go, all right, Texas heat, bring it on.
And she's going to have
God says, okay, I got your back.
A strange conversation with a therapist one day saying, I have these memories of dogs everywhere. And her therapist will make up some ridiculous response, but it was true.
But it actually happened.
It was true.
That's how Mom and Dad got out of debt.
Everywhere.
It was the summer we made $3,000 with 9 dogs at one time.
And pizza everywhere. Yeah, it's awesome.
Dogs eating pizza.
Yeah. Congratulations, y'all.
Oh, fun stuff. Very fun. Well, that's how you do it, folks. You just set your mind to it, and you set aside what other people think, and you say, I'm going to endure whatever I have to endure for a short period of time. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host this hour. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Here at Ramsey Solutions, we are on a mission to transform so many lives that we disrupt this toxic culture. What's that mean? Well, imagine a world where it's weird to have a student loan. Imagine a world where it's normal to pay cash for your car. Imagine a world where the credit card is the cigarette of the financial world. Because it is. Imagine a world where people were working jobs that they love because of Ken Coleman's materials. Imagine a world where people were able to have quality relationships and less anxiety because they were hanging out with Dr. John Deloney's material, and so on. Hey, imagine what it'd be like to be a part of the team that's causing all that to happen. We've got a little over 1,000 folks, about 1,060 working here today, and we create digital products and services that transform people's lives. It's absolutely happening. If you want to join this crusade, we're on the hunt for some developers, Dev 1s, Dev 2s, Dev 3s. If you're a UX designer or SEO or content marketing specialist or data analyst, yeah, we've got about 500 people just like you here, and that are very smart, and we'd love to have you join that team. We've got a lot of things happening here, and when you write a line of code here, it actually changes somebody's life. Find out about the positions that are open at RamseySolutions.com/careers. RamseySolutions.com/careers. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code RAMSEY to get the best possible deal.
All right, today's question comes from Becky in Pennsylvania. Becky writes, I found out 6 weeks ago that my husband has been cheating on me for most of our marriage. I confronted him about this, and we're both seeing counselors at our church. My husband is very repentant and realizes he needs help. We sold our small business, changed his phone number and email. He took a pay cut by taking a new job where he has accountability and is not working by himself. Last night we tried to do our budget meeting, and it did not end well. I feel like he's very controlling in our finances, and I don't trust him at all yet. Should we dip into our emergency fund to help pay for the counseling, or use the money from selling the business to help us get through this time? Whew, Dave, what? You go first. Nope, I'll go first. I feel like this blew up, and they responded to a blow up with another blow up, and they're making a bunch of real quick snap decisions. And they're sprinting, trying to catch up with the problem. They just need to stop for a minute, turn all the lights on, and say, hey, that party is over. We need to figure out where we're at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would not be a bad first step. And yes, you spend money on counseling before you spend money on hanging on. You don't have to hang on. He got a job. Shut up. You can hang on. What I look for in these things, and sadly, in doing financial coaching one-on-one, trying to do the budget, and you just can't get the budget to work. Mm-hmm. And you can't get them to work together, and the more you force into it, the more you figure out something is going on that's not showing up here on the paper. It's hard to put girlfriend as a line item in a budget.
Yes.
It really doesn't work well, and when you actually have money going out over here to Secret Life, mm-hmm. then your budget's not going to balance.
Right.
And if you're controlling and you're having a power play on the budget, I'm always suspicious that he's not back to his old tricks.
Gotcha.
That's why he blew up.
Gotcha.
Because she was calling him out because the money's not showing up. Where's the money? And girlfriend's not an acceptable line on the budget for most wives.
Huh.
You know,
for most,
you know, it just doesn't work for most people. So that's yeah. And so usually when someone, particularly the husband, is extremely controlling on the money, there's other control issues in the relationship.
Always.
There's other deceptions in the relationship. There's other things. It can be the wife too. If she's just an overbearing, test pilot for a broom factory, it can be the same thing going on, right?
I read that this way, that he got busted. It's a big deal. It all blows up. And the response was, well, then we're selling everything. You're getting a new job. You're doing this. You're doing this. You're doing this. You're doing this.
And he kind of got to the end of it.
And he goes,
I've repented enough.
Like,
I'm not. But it's over the budget.
Right. Well,
he's very controlling of our finances. I don't know. We're reading into an email. We don't have any idea.
But it reminds me of high school. In an English class, you can kind of get to your answer. Math class, there was one right answer, and you can.
It's not an essay question,
right? You can fudge your way through. No, we're on the same page. We're doing good. We're doing good. That budget says, "Are you in or you out?" Mm-hmm. And neither of them, I don't think, are in here.
Yeah.
Neither of them. She's got, yes, to answer your question, you can't afford, let's spend a little bit of money on counseling before we spend a lot of money on divorce court.
Agreed.
So, yes.
Agreed. And spend a little bit of money on counseling, and you won't even miss it because everything else will start to work right if the counseling is working right.
Right.
So I feel like he's very controlling, warning sign. I do not trust him at all yet. Well, you shouldn't.
Right.
Yet. The way trust is recovered is with lengthy periods of time of being trustworthy.
Right.
Worthy of trust. Right now, what we have is a lengthy period of time of not being worthy of trust. So
and
you would be insane. You would be insane to trust him.
He hasn't been trustworthy this whole marriage.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So why would you suddenly start trusting him? Because he repented and that we went to 2 counseling sessions at the church? Right. No. You wouldn't be a sane human being if you trusted him based on that. It takes a little while to recover that.
And the old marriage you had is over. Period.
Well, you didn't really have one.
Right. You didn't have one. But what you thought was there is over. The way forward is
the fantasy you thought you had. Yeah.
Not to get back to what you had. You got to recreate something new. You got to reimagine it, re-envision it, rebuild something new. You can do it together and make it strong and beautiful and great and wonderful and all those things. But you got to know we're going this way. We're not going to be able to reclaim what was.
So I'll tell you this. I feel like, and I'm old, and I've walked with a whole bunch of friends and other people through this process of divorce and this process of bankruptcy, both. And I tell people in both of those instances, I have never, with the exception of domestic violence, I have never told someone you need to get a divorce. Right. And I've never told someone they need to file bankruptcy. Because I don't want them filing it and go, because Dave Ramsey said that. Yep. No, you need to make, that's a big girl, big boy decision you make on your own, not because somebody told you and made it okay.
That's right.
And the only thing I will tell you on either one, both are life-changing tragedies, and anyone who minimizes either is full of crap. They're both horrible to go through, bankruptcy, divorce. So that's one of the reasons I don't give people, the Dave Ramsey, permission to do that. You get to make your own permission. I'll still be your friend if you go through it. I'm not going to be mad at you, but you're not going to do it because I said. I'm going to give you that authority. So you have to make your own big girl. And then the other thing I always tell you is, if you get to the end of this and you have done everything you can try, and then one more thing, you won't live with regret.
Right.
I look back on filing bankruptcy almost 30 years ago now, and I'm not proud of it. It is still a mark of shame. But as a 28-year-old kid, at the time, after fighting it for 2.5 years, my tank was empty intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. I got babies in the house. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I had done everything I knew to do, and then I waited another 2 months. And so I don't look back on that and go, that guy was weak of character and just walked out. I did everything I knew how to do. My level of regret for that is almost zero.
Right.
So my ability to forgive myself and move on is really high.
That's right.
And that's what you want if you're going to do with this divorce.
Right.
You want to have tried everything. So yes, try the counseling. Yes, try to meet with the church. Yes, try all that. But Bozo's got a long track record of being a bozo here.
Right. He's not an honest person, hasn't been.
It's not, so you got a long hill to climb for him to be trustworthy and for you to trust him. And very controlling over our finances. Warning, warning, warning. Just reading between the lines on an email. That's what we do here on The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and about your money. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Jim is with us in Kansas City. Hi, Jim. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I got to say that bumper music you had a second ago there, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Really enjoying that.
Well, thanks, brother. How can we help?
Hey, I tell you what, it's been a rough year. God is good, and he blesses us. But I lost both my parents about a month and a half ago to COVID within a week of each other.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry.
How old were they?
Well, 67.
Jeez, the weird
puppies.
Man.
Pretty tough. But, my parents blessed my wife and I. They prepared and they blessed us with a little bit of an inheritance, trying to figure it out. So just the short story, my dad had a $100,000 annuity through Southern Baptist Convention. Mom had a $100,000 401k through her work, and I am now the beneficiary. And my understanding is that they will now be moved into a beneficiary 401k that has to be distributed within 10 years.
Correct.
And I'm not sure how to do that based off of my wife and I make about $150,000 a year. And so we're concerned about the tax implications because it is considered income.
Yes.
What are your suggestions?
All of that information is correct. The law was passed about 18 months ago. There used to be an inherited IRA. You could drag it out a lot longer, inherited 401k. The government decided they wanted to get their tax money out of your hide even faster, and so they now have a 10-year plan for you. And so what I would do is just sit down with your investment advisor. If you don't have one, click SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com, and the SmartVestor Pro can sit down with you and put this stuff, you can roll it all into an inherited IRA, which is fine. They're all the same thing, and just put it in some good mutual funds, and then basically you're going to take out 1/10 every year, and your growth.
And then that would be
taxable.
So if I make $150,000 a year and basically $100,000 at, 10% per year,
you're going to add another $10,000 to $20,000 to your income every year.
That would be better than to pull it all out at once and then start a Roth IRA with it?
Yes. Because about the only thing we're sure about tax law is it's going to change.
Okay.
Just depending on which set of crazies is up there.
Okay, sounds good. So just
the crazy left is going to tax you into oblivion. The crazy right's going to try to figure out a way to undo it. So it's just, it's just going to be something all the time. I mean, the Trump tax laws that passed were the most bizarre, wonderful things I've ever seen for keeping their hands off of my money, but they were bizarre. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my adult years, and they were fairly quiet about it. Nobody talked about it because nobody wanted to give him any credit, I guess. I don't know. But then Biden's been going through there with a pen and a machete and changing it back. So, and even more so. So, including this law. So, I don't know. I'm just going to take it as slow as I can take it. Is what I want to do. I'm going to keep the government's hands off of it as long as I can keep their hands off of it, because you don't need the money. And let's let what would be tax money of this, like if you pull $20,000 out, let's call 3,000 of it tax dollars, or 6,000 of it tax dollars. That's $6,000 if you had left it in there that is the government's money ultimately that would have been growing you money. But now it's not going to grow you any money because you're going to have to send it up there. So you want to take it as slow as you can take it. That's the moral of the story. Good question. We appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Let's go to Mar in Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Mar, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, John. How you guys doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Hey, so my job is offering, I'm with a new company. I started like a week ago. They're offering a cash savings benefit plan for retirement. They do have a 401k, but they don't contribute to that. If we just had the 401k, we would just put our own money into it. I did talk to a financial pro. He told me since I already have a Roth IRA, and I know you teach match beats Roth beats tradition. Should I just put money into my Roth IRA?
Instead of what?
Instead of the cash balance benefit plan that my job is offering.
Okay, is the job the benefit the cash balance plan? Are you required to put money into it?
They said that they would match 3%, and we can match 3% after a year.
Only in the cash balance plan.
Yes, only in the cash balance.
What do you do for a living?
Year, I'm a truck driver, sir.
Is this a union plan?
I don't think they are.
Okay. All right. Well, you would know if you were union, dude. Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry. We're not union. No, we're not union. But
okay.
Once again, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what that is. Can you explain to me what a cash balance benefit plan is?
It's a defined benefit plan. It's just very unusual, and honestly, it's very old-fashioned. It's very 1960s.
Okay.
And I haven't even heard of one, and I don't know when. That's what I'm thinking. So basically, a defined benefit plan is simply they are running a pension plan that they are largely funding, and they are controlling it. And the easy way to think about it is the name tells you what it is. They are defining the benefits. Okay. You're not. It's a defined benefit plan. And the cash balance portion of it is just the calculation of how they're defining the benefits. But It's uber conservative at best, like going to pay 5%, maybe 6% with the regulations that are on it. And so I'm not putting any money in it. If they put money in it, great, but I'm not putting any money in it just to get the match. In other words, it sucks so bad that you getting a 3% match doesn't make it not suck. That's a better way of saying it. So I just move on. That's just the simple way of saying it. But right, so go ahead and do your own thing with a Roth IRA, or if they have a 401k, do that. And someday maybe they'll come around and do a match. But yeah, if you'll load your Roth IRA, and if you're married, load your wife's Roth IRA for the rest of your life, you'll be rich. Because you're a young dude, you got plenty of time.
It's so bad I won't even take your money.
But that's really mathematically what it's going to come out to be. Yeah, so there you go. This is the Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Well, Christmas is coming. Turns out it's in December of this year. They didn't move it. And I love Christmas, and consequently, it is required if you work at Ramsey that you love Christmas. Because Ramsey Solutions, we're just Christmas people. We're in a Christmas frame of mind. One way we celebrate Christmas is with our Ramsey Show listeners by giving you cash. It's become a tradition. We give away $500 a week and a grand prize of $5,000. We've already started doing it. We've already had some winners. And you can enter every day, no purchase necessary, to increase your chances of winning. You just go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. RamseySolutions.com. That's where you find everything about Ramsey, by the way. And, you can sign up every day for your $500 a week that we're giving away. And we're not giving it to everybody. We're giving it to one person. So we have to do a drawing, and so you have to be in the drawing. If you're looking for life-changing gifts for your family or friends, you can check out our week-long Black Friday sale in the store at RamseySolutions.com. Up to 73% off bestsellers, including a bunch of our best-selling books at $10, including The Total Money Makeover, Rachel's brand new New York Times bestseller, Know Yourself, Know Your Money. $10! You know what that is? A stocking stuffer. Yeah, I had a big stocking for these books, but it's okay. This year, forget the one. And by the way, we actually have them in stock, and we will ship them now. We don't have a supply chain issue because we heard about supply chain stuff and went ahead and got stuff extra in, so we were ready for Christmas and stuff. And our shipping team feels like it's important to get it to you and stuff. So it's like weird. Like we actually are. I ordered something on Amazon like 3 weeks ago. Next day delivery. Still don't have it. Sharon's like, do you want to reorder that? I'm like, well, yeah, it worked so good last time. Let's do it again.
Do it again.
So, I mean, there's a lot of this stuff is just out, or these people are backed up and they can't get it. It's wild. Hey, we're going to ship it. So if you need something for Christmas, we'll ship it to you. You just buy it and it'll work, Hey, check out the biggest Black Friday sale yet at our online store at RamseySolutions.com. Austin's with us in Salt Lake City. And, hey, Austin, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to speak with you, and your principles have changed my family. I'm calling in because my wife and I recently had our first baby.
Yay! What'd you have?
We had a little girl.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little girl.
Daddy's in trouble.
No. Oh, yeah. It's been great. It's amazing being a dad. We've kind of asked our parents, though, more for cash for her instead of toys for the holidays coming up.
Good luck with that.
Or gifted some. Yeah, I'm not a huge noise-making toys guy, so we'll see what happens. But
yeah, but grandfathers are, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll see what she opens up on Christmas morning. But we're hoping to figure out. We were gifted some money when she was first born. We're hoping to invest it. And I tried to set up a 529, and it got to all the options of different funds and things like that I can invest in. I frankly am just hoping to figure out what sort of investment I should put the money in that we do get for her.
Oh, that's sweet. Good for you.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Good for you. Yeah, just jump online at RamseySolutions.com and click SmartVestor to get your college fund set up, and they'll help you set it up. It's not hard at all. We spread college funds like we do retirement across 4 types of mutual funds with long track records: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. That's what my children's college fund was invested in. And that's what my personal retirement is invested in. And so I'm not telling you to do something I wouldn't do. And by the way, it worked out okay. My little girl's 37.
And I guess one of my questions would be, so my wife and I are debt-free, but I plan on doing professional school, a medical degree, so we will not be investing into it ourselves, where we're trying to figure out a way to do it debt-free, but we probably won't be putting in anything other than what we get each year for gifts and things like that.
That's fine.
Would that change?
Yeah, that's fine for now, and then later on when you get past the school and you got your income, then you can go that direction. Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Perfect.
Hey, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you joining.
You're way out in front, brother.
So I was listening to the Entree Leadership podcast this morning on my run. And lo and behold, Dr. John Deloney is giving advice on the holidays of what to do. And I discovered that you and I share yet one more trait. Neither of us are fans of the Hungry Hippo game.
Oh, gosh.
Talk about loud stuff that grandparents buy kids. The game is pointless. And it's like you can't. Can you even buy it still?
Oh, we got it.
Our kid, you got a new one. You didn't get it at a garage sale.
We got it. And I'm looking directly at you. Mom, thanks. We're real excited about it. Yeah, we got it. And
it was a grandparent gift.
It was a grandparent. Yeah. Yes.
That's what I was thinking of when I heard you say that.
I think the game was invented.
You didn't say that.
It was invented by parents who wanted to torture their children who just had their first kids.
Yeah, it's payback.
Yes. What's the loudest?
You give your grandson a drum set.
Yes. Or like, hey, here's a foghorn, son.
Yeah.
Shoot. Moms love this in the morning.
Here's the loudest possible horn that you can blow.
I'm getting
Now blow it, boy. Come on, son. Blow it.
I'm going to get my nieces and nephews cowbells and all kinds of loud noises.
I'm just telling you. It's, but yeah, Hungry Hippo is, it's about as lame as Rock'em Sock'em Robots, because the robot would hit him right in the jaw and it didn't hit.
Yeah.
It didn't pop his head up until you had to hit him the other way.
The thing about Rock'em Sock'em Robots,
it just didn't work well.
No, but when you're
bad design.
On the robots, when you're hitting it, you can feel like you're hitting the guy in front of you. With the hippos, it's just, I don't know. And then my daughter wins, and I don't have the psychology for that. It's a mess.
Well, and the problem, too, is this. It's just teaching children wrong. Because all the hippo stuff is cute and cuddly. Even the Hungry Hippos are cute and cuddly. And the cartoons, they're all wearing little
real
tutus.
Hippos are mean, man.
And in the real, when you're in Africa, you should be more afraid of a hippo than a lion.
Is that true? I think I heard that.
It kills more people than lions.
Hippos.
Yeah, they are vicious freaking animals. So there you go. Just a little school of knowledge that you didn't think you were going to get from the Ramsey group. Okay. Thank you, Hasbro.
You ruined it.
For ruining our children. But loud toys. I think I'm going to go get a bunch of them for the grandkids. I had not thought of that as payback.
You've inspired me, dude. I'm going to go get a bunch of those horns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a couple of them. There's like a flute thing, the potato thing or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call it? The recorder.
Recorders.
Oh, God.
Every
there was
kid
one
gets a
left
recorder.
over from some kid, and it's in the grandkids' playroom, and they come out in the middle of all the adults, and that thing will blow your brains out.
I love it.
It's like, give me that. It's like... Yeah.
I think, Dave, this could be your greatest Christmas ever. For about $37, you can laugh harder than you can laugh in the last calendar year.
Payback.
You can go to Target and do all of your Christmas shopping.
The evil side of Papa Dave is coming out. Yeah.
Every kid gets a recorder.
If I'd have known how great grandkids are going to be, I'd have been nicer to their parents. But now I know yet another way to get their parents. Yeah, and just mess with them.
I'm pretty excited about that.
This is fun. This is going to be great. Yeah, I kind of vowed I was going to be all responsible until they got to about 3 years old, and then they knew what the toys were. Mm-hmm. And then my children had to set boundaries with me because Christmas was overwhelming because I just lost my mind, and there was just stuff everywhere.
But it's so fun, though.
Well, it was like no money, but it was just stuff. I mean, it was just a whole house, just piled. Yeah. And the little kids they're emotionally overwhelmed. So it was, I was the only happy one in the room. The kids are overwhelmed. The parents are mad because I violated boundaries, everything else. And so now I just have to get like one toy.
Boo.
But it'll be loud.
Fun ruiners.
It could be loud.
Yeah, just wait. I'm going to get them a bassoon. How do you like that, kids?
I wonder if Amazon can overnight a Hungry Hippo.
Or a trumpet. Oh, yeah, they can get you a Hungry Hippo, man.
They can't get this other stuff I ordered, but they probably can get that. I wonder if supply chain got Hungry Hippo. You just never know. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. So I'm talking about my grandchildren being annoying with a recorder, and during the break it was discovered and played on YouTube that Dr. John Deloney had actually played a recorder to be annoying on his own show, and that is now featured on YouTube, and now has been featured on the Ramsey Show on YouTube during the break.
So I made some comment about teacher educators, or like music teachers. And somebody on the internet's heard it wrong and wrote me a real mean, like, how dare you belittle music teachers? I was like, no, man, I love music teachers. Look at this. I can still, Dave, I'm not going to lie. I'm incredible on the recorder.
No, you're not. I just heard it. You sound like fingernails going down a chalkboard.
I'm not great. But
you're like one of my grandkids. I wanted to smack you. It was awful.
I'm not great at the recorder. I'm not.
Yeah, I gathered that. And so whatever music teacher was in your life failed you.
If your kid is good at the recorder, Dave wants you to personally send him a direct message on Instagram.
No, not even if they're good or not good. I don't want any of it. It's send it all to Dr. John Deloney at RamseySolutions.com. It's his personal email address. All right, Eric.
Game on, my friend. Game on.
It's not really, but you can try if you want. I'm sure the spam will catch it. All right, Aaron and Kamana is with us in Maui, Hawaii. Hey, guys, how are you?
Aloha, Dave.
Aloha. It says on my screen you guys are debt-free.
Woohoo! Yes, we are.
Way to go. How much did you pay off?
$76,000.
I love it. How long did this take?
23 months.
Rocking it. And what was your range of income during that 2 years?
132 to 167,000.
You're rocking it. Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a general contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the head fundraiser for a nonprofit here in Maui.
Very good. Very good. What kind of debt was the $76,000?
It was IRS. It was 7 credit cards. It was a PLOC and a car loan.
Y'all kind of normal.
So normal.
Wow. How long you been married?
Aaron, we've been married 11 years, together for 16.
Okay, cool. So what happened 2 years ago that got you hooked up with this whole Ramsey thing?
Well, I had to humble myself that a guy from Tennessee had, some info that was worthwhile for a girl from Maui to listen to.
Maui people aren't arrogant.
No, just me. Just me. I needed a humility pill. And we bought a house in 2010. We got married in 2010. We bought a car in 2010. And we had a baby in 2011. It was early in our marriage, and it really just stressed us from the start. And we really thought that we could out-earn our stupidity and entitlement. And I was facing a job change in early 2020. So in 2019, I was tracking. I kept looking at the numbers. I kept trying to figure out how we could get ahead. And I thought getting a job, making more money was the answer. And shout out to the Maui Mommies Facebook group. People kept recommending this Dave Ramsey guy. And so I clicked on and I looked, and all of the information was there. It was easy, it was elegant, and it was free, which we really, really appreciated. And I don't know, my husband would probably say I kind of got a little obsessed.
Oh, you went the other way. The pendulum swung from...
All in. I went all in.
Yeah, to drink the Kool-Aid. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, good for you guys. Okay. So, Aaron, did she get a little obsessed?
Just a little.
You were checking her search history on her computer, like, who's this guy in Tennessee she keeps talking about?
Oh, yeah. Podcasts all day, every day.
I'm sorry. But it worked. It worked. So you guys got the information, and then what happened? What'd you do to get out of debt?
I had been tracking all of our expenses, mainly just our big bills, but it was the little things in between that was really killing us. It was just giving into eating out. It was the small things. It was a death by 1,000 cuts, and trying to pay off our debt all at once. Putting a $25 here on this credit card, or we would get a chunk of cash and throwing it on this, and then we would just spend it back up. So we really embraced the snowball, and I have to say it was hard at first to learn and to change the patterns of behavior that we had. And we kind of stumbled the first few months, but kind of January 2020 was kind of game on. And then the pandemic hit, and that really helped us. Luckily, we stayed employed and couldn't go anywhere and couldn't spend any money. So I just was on every dollar all the time, running scenarios, seeing how fast we could pay off the debt. And Aaron just looked at me and said, we'll be fine. We just stick to the plan. It's going to be okay.
Wow. Good for you guys. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Well done.
So have you had a month where the check deposited and you didn't owe anybody any money? And you just look at that balance and think, whoa.
Yeah. I feel so rich.
Yeah, feels good, huh?
Way to go, you guys. Way to go. Who were your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you?
We kind of kept this close to the vest. I have to say we had, humility is a big part of our journey and staying hungry. And we shared it with family and friends, and they really encouraged us. We had a few older family members reach out and say, I wish I would have gotten out of debt sooner. You guys are on the great track. But this was really a journey for us to get close again. And, we just needed, it was like therapy for us. The journey was really a transformation for the two of us.
You're free.
Yeah.
incredible.
And in Hawaii, the high cost of living, so many of our friends are leaving, and we can do it. You know, Hawaiians can be in Hawaii. We can stay. We can raise our families. We can do it. And I hope other folks here in Hawaii hear us, or anyone that lives in a high cost living area, that you can do it. You just have to be humble and hungry and stick to the plan.
It's incredible.
Powerful. Very powerful. And shout out to the Maui mommies. I love it.
Yeah. And do you have little ones?
We do. 10-year-old and 8-year-old.
10-year-old and 8-year-old. And they're going to get to see a new picture of what a relationship looks like, of what marriage looks like when everybody's on the same page, when everybody's not stressed about money. And that will change their biochemistry. And they will slowly lean into their new relationships as they get older with a new picture, because y'all did this hard work.
Way to go.
It's incredible.
Yeah, you guys are heroes. That's beautiful.
Absolute. Man, wow.
Well done. Well done. All right. Well, we got a copy of The Legacy Journey we'll send out to you. That's the next chapter in your story. You'll be moving on to be Baby Steps Millionaires next. And then also a copy of the Total Money Makeover. Maybe you can pay it forward, send it over to the Maui Mommies, and let them raffle it off on the website or the blog group or whatever it is. So I'm honored to be mentioned there. Never been mentioned in a Maui group that I knew of before, so you never know where a hillbilly's going to turn up.
Dave, you're a big deal with the Maui moms.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a hillbilly turn up. It's a hillbilly shout out right there. Life's good. So my cool factor just went up to a tiny little bit.
I can agree to disagree, but go ahead.
All right, Aaron, and let me see if I can get this right. Kaimana.
Beautiful.
I knew I was going to mess it up. Beautiful. Kaimana. Aaron and Kaimana in Maui, Hawaii. $76,000 paid off in 23 months, making $132 to $167. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ekolu, Elua, Ekahi, we're debt-free.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Love it.
Dave, they got their marriage back. We could have talked to him for another hour. They got their marriage back.
Big deal. Big deal. And
it's incredible.
Happens all the time when people start working together towards a common goal and they're both willing to sacrifice their selfish interest to hit the common goal.
Yep.
Whatever the common goal is.
That's right.
Whether it be straightening the kid out or straightening the checkbook out. But when we got a common goal and we're willing to give up our own little selfish interest to hit the common goal that's good for the whole house, all of a sudden, ding, ding.
For their neighborhood, for their culture, for everybody.
Stuff starts happening when we grow up. It's awesomeness. Well done, you guys. I'm so proud of you. You're heroes. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Bill is in South Bend, Indiana. Hi, Bill. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, I just got to know if Dr. Deloney and James ever get a chance to get their guitars out to help make some of the music for some of the podcasts.
James is not that good. Let's be honest. I would love to. I'm just kidding. James is way, way, way better than me. Answer's no.
I was going to fix that if you didn't.
James is better than me.
One thing we don't permit here is this level of lying.
He's 10x better than me, but no, they don't let us do that kind of stuff together.
We do have a battle of the bands here every year that is absolutely amazing, and both of them were in bands that lost this year. So
the same band.
Oh, wow.
We joined forces and
they dressed up like 80s metal with hair and everything. It was fabulous. They were a bunch of clowns. All right, how can we help, Bill?
I'd love to see that. Okay, my question is whether or not you think that my wife and I are too heavily invested in real estate and not heavy enough in other investments. So here are the stats. I'm 45. My wife is 41. Our household income is 104 plus dividends from our business, plus about 30,000 from our Airbnb. And so this year we're looking at, it will probably be close to 230 that we'll make. We've got about 60,000 in our Roth IRAs and mutual funds. And as far as the real estate is concerned, it's all one big piece of real estate. So it's where we live. It's our main house. It's got 38 acres.
What is your property worth?
The property is worth probably between $850 and $900.
Is it paid for?
We owe $165 on it.
Okay. And do you own other real estate? You own an Airbnb, or is that on the property?
The Airbnb is on the property.
Okay. So you don't own any other real estate?
That's correct.
Okay. And so your net worth is over $1 million, but almost all of it's in this property.
That's true.
Okay. All right. It's a little lopsided, but it's not the end of the world. It's not going to cause you to not prosper. The property's going to go up in value. It is a pile of money that's not making you much money.
Right.
Other than the appreciation. And so, before I do a bunch of improvements on that property, add another Airbnb as an example on that same property or something like that, I'm going to make sure I'm putting a good 15% of my household income into retirement, baby step 4 level every month, and I'm going to be working down these mortgages. So, in other words, I wouldn't add to the real estate, but let the other stuff kind of catch up,
okay.
And it will over time. I'm heavy in real estate. I've got more in real estate than I do in mutual funds, but I don't have 98% in real estate, and that's about where you're sitting. It's getting pretty close, 95%. So, but part of the reason I'm so heavy in real estate is I bought a whole bunch of it for a quarter on the dollar in 2008, and then it shot way up. It recovered and then went up from there. And so the values have shot up so much faster than mutual funds since 2008 that I've made a lot more money there. So it's thrown the balance off. And I've been investing in this property that we run Ramsey out of, which is a lot of concrete and stuff. So, yeah, it's okay. Real estate's not a bad place. You just want your money to be making money, and that money's not making a lot of money right now. So, but it's not worth saying, oh, you're stupid, you need to sell it, it's a horrible idea. No, I mean, you're just got a lot of money tied up. It's unusual, and I would not make it worse.
Let me ask you something. On this last call, he mentioned that he's got a business that he takes home a salary from, but then he pays himself dividends against that. I mean, on top of that salary, and the dividends were high. Why would you do that with your business versus just paying yourself a higher salary?
Well, it is.
Or is it semantics?
It's in effect the same thing.
Okay.
It's in effect the same thing. I mean, it depends on how depends on his corporate structure, but more than likely it's just he's bonusing himself profits out.
Okay.
And they're calling them dividends. There may be a little bit of a tax move there, unless I hope he's not in a C Corp, but he could be in a C Corp. That could be what he's doing. All right, Ethan is in Elkhart, Indiana. Hi, Ethan. How are you?
I'm doing great. Better than I deserve, right?
Yes, sir. How can we help?
I got another baby question for you. I heard a couple of those today.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking forward to being the first-time father in February.
Congratulations.
Do things right. So we had $21,000 in our emergency fund. I also saved $3,200 my HSA so far. The plan was that $3,200 could help cover the hospital bill.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, plans change like always, and we found out we're having twins.
Whoop, whoop.
Yay!
Yeah. So my question for you though is, what I thought we could probably have a affordable birth at $3,000 to $4,000 is now looking like my full deductible of $12,700 for the year. There's a very good chance we'll meet that. It's my wife's first time pregnancy, and she's small, high risk. Anyways, my question for you is it acceptable to take this as a payment plan when the time comes?
No.
And use my HSA funds to do that?
No.
Because it's tax. You say no?
No.
Okay.
Because the only reason when a hospital sends you a bill, it's due. The only reason they put you on a payment plan is you can't pay the bill. And you can pay the bill. It's just an inconvenient.
I can, but it's not taxed. It's not.
It's not they don't put you on a plan because it's tax advantage to you. They don't give a crap about that.
Right.
They sent you a bill and it's due.
Okay.
And people don't pay it, and they put them on plans all the time. But no, I would not do that. I would just pay the bill. Now, what I would do is load your HSA as full as you can load it between now and then. And I would go sit down, if you can get an appointment in the world we live in, with the administrator of the hospital and say, what can we do to pre-plan as much of this as possible, even prepay some of it so that we can limit the cost. Let me give you an example of the type of thing I'm talking about. May not apply in your situation, but here's what's running through my head.
Sure.
On a traditional labor and delivery, if you do not have insurance at all, if you will go and offer to prepay the labor and delivery, or prepay 50 or 60% of it before the child comes, you can get a discount as much as 50%. I'm uninsured and I'm willing to pay cash, but I'm going to pay a bunch of it up front. How much of a discount will you give me? I'm shopping hospitals to decide where to have this baby. Hospitals are competitive between each other to have the only thing that anyone is ever glad they went to the hospital for.
Yes.
Which is a baby. It's the only positive time we go to the hospital, right? There's no other time we go, woohoo, we're going to the hospital, right? So, they love, this is PR for them, for you to have a baby there. And so they will discount heavily in a traditional labor and delivery for a cash prepay. The question is, how much of a deal like that can you get? Because you got twins on the way, and you're not going to be able to cover it all out of the HSA. And you go, I'd like to prepay some of this. If you'll give me a discount, how much can you help me out here? First time dad, teach me how this works. Sitting with someone in the administration's office, you probably are going to get some kind of help from them, not because you're a charity case, but just because you were intentional and proactive, and they probably would like having you around.
And get that deal in writing and have it include all of the doctors and all of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have a deal here, but yeah, man, I love that idea. And they will work with you.
Yeah, and you can make it that way. You don't just get you might not get the whole deductible hammered. And so it might be closer to your HSA and less of your emergency fund that way that gets dinged in this. But 10 years from today, we had twins. It hit our deductible. We wrote a check. You won't even remember it.
No, man. And I can't think of a better quote-unquote emergency than, hey, we're having another kid, right? Most emergency funds are for when things go sideways, and you got an extra blessing here, man. So that's why you have the emergency fund for, just in case.
Absolutely. And this is not about tax advantage.
Yeah.
Not in this case. So, hey, good question. Congratulations. Proud for you, man. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Good hour. Dr. John Deloney, good hour. James Childs, good hour. Jenna Sears on the phones for Kelly Daniels today. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You can tune into the Dr. John Deloney Show as a podcast on the Ramsey Network anytime you'd like. It's unbelievably popular. A huge amount of listenership on it, just out of the gate. Everybody's loving this material, all about mental health, all about wellness, all about boundaries and relationships, and good old grandma's common sense mixed in with a couple of PhDs, and so it works out really good. Be sure you tune in, and you can even call today. Make that part of this hour if you want. 888-825-5225. We're going to start this hour with Samuel in California. Hi, Samuel. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I drive a 2018 Accent in my parents' name, and they co-signed it. There's $6,150 left, and I can pay it off today. My dad might not like giving it because he wants to buy me a new car loan, which I don't want, but I think he'll give it to me, and my mom wants to give it to me if I pay it off. But how should we do the car title transfer, and is there a gift tax?
There should not be a gift tax. It's under $15,000. The transfer, you would have to ask in the state of California what the process is for the transfer on a gift. In a lot of states, you just put $1 on it and you gift it over because it's inside the family. Your parents to you. Now, if I gift a car to someone outside the family, they may want to put a value of the car on it because the title transfer usually has a tax associated with it in most states, and the tax is based on the amount of the dollars, the value of the car at the transfer. So, California, I'm going to guess, is going to figure out a way to tax you. They do on everything else. So, but I don't know what that is. So you would just call the Department of Motor Vehicles, ask how you transfer a title where a gift is involved, and have them give you instructions on that, or hit their website. They may have an FAQ that will tell you that. You do need to have a firm, before you start writing a check to pay off a car that is not in your name, you need to have a firm agreement with your dad, since it's in his name. I mean, you're talking to your mom about this, but obviously Dad's not in the loop. He wants you to get another car payment. Answer to that's no, I'm not going to. So what I'd like you to do is just allow me to pay this off and you title it to me because I'm the one that paid for the car. And that would be the morally correct thing for him to do, and I think he will. But you need to have that clear. You don't want to pay it off and then him go, okay, let's trade it. That's your only option, Bubba. And you've got your money in a car that's not in your name, and this is a deal you shouldn't have done in the first place, but it's the best way to put this deal to a close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you sit down and have a grown-up conversation with Dad, and you're going to make some grown-up decisions and pay off a grown-up car, and I think this step one is being honest with the old man and having that conversation. I love it.
Yeah, you got to be forward. It sounds like you guys are dancing around him because you're like negotiating with your mom, so she negotiates for him, and that's more like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Instead of it's like you trying to get. No, you just need to sit down with the players. This is adult to adult, and everybody emotionally accept where we are now. Your dad accepts that you're an adult. You accept that he's an adult, and that he doesn't have power over you except this bad deal.
And let's also lean into he's trying to help in the best way he thinks. He's trying to get you another new car.
Yeah, he's not trying to hurt you, but what he's offering is not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. That's right.
Anthony is in Pittsburgh. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Honored to have you. How can we help?
Well, I have a question about some stocks and if it makes sense to cash those out and put that towards paying off my student loans. So I've been pretty lucky in that all I have as far as debt is student loans. I have about $58,000 in student loans, and I've decided that I just want those gone. So last month I made a $10,000 student loan payment, brought my savings down to just the $1,000 emergency fund, and I have about $2,800 a month that I can put towards paying off that debt. Because I'm fortunate enough that I'm staying with a family member, but I don't overstay my welcome. So I just want to get out of debt as fast as I can. So I have about $10,000 in stocks that I've incurred just kind of over the last 3 years here and there, kind of not managing my money well. And I'm wondering if it makes sense to just cash out what I have in that and take all that money and put it towards just paying off the debt that I have, or if it makes more sense just to keep that and then just only use my income and just continue to try and do what I'm doing and paying off my debt monthly.
The shortest distance between where you are and wealth is not a $10,000 stock account. It's being debt-free.
Okay, so I guess that answers my question. So just cash it out and put it off, paying off the debt as fast as I can.
That'll get you where you want to go the fastest.
Okay, because where I'm at now, I think...
In essence, that's the question we're always asking ourselves. Which of these gets me to wealth the fastest? The $10,000 stock account and use my income, or to be debt-free and have all of my income to build wealth with?
Yep, and that's what I was thinking, and I was just kind of going back and forth. I was like, does the interest that I'm paying on the loan, does that, take it from the difference from what my gains are on the stocks? And my heart told me, no, just cash it out in payment. But, the math side of me said,
just follow the plan, brother. Just follow the plan.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is what we teach. Yeah, when you're on baby step 2, you cash out everything that is not retirement, any assets you have that are not retirement, and use them to get yourself out of debt in baby step 2. And you throw every dollar out of your budget you can, add it to baby step 2. And the reason is your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. All the data we have on millionaires, all the data we have on wealth building is the typical person that becomes a millionaire in their 30s and 40s and 50s does so by utilizing their income, not by giving it to someone else in the form of debt. It's that clean and that simple. And that's why the Ramsey brand has beat the debt-free drum for 30 years. Not because debt-free, but debt-free so that you can be outrageously generous. Debt-free so that you can invest. Because when you don't have any payments, you have money.
Lots of it, man.
It's so primitive and so simple and so profound and so life-changing. Once you get your hands on it and you just never get away from it, then you just go, why didn't I think of that? I've made a really good living peddling common sense.
Oh, I love it.
This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Well, it's almost time for Christmas. And some of you, when you hear that word, Christmas doesn't mean happy holidays. It means stress. How am I going to pay for all the food? How am I going to pay for the travel? How am I going to pay for the presents? But it doesn't have to be that way. When you have a plan for your money, you can have confidence even when everything else seems out of control. Financial Peace University will teach you how to put together a plan and control, how to get out of debt, how to save money, how to build wealth, how to be outrageously generous. It's Christmas. The average household, when they're going through this over 90 days, pays off or saves $2,700 and pays off $5,300 in debt. That's an $8,000 turn in the first 90 days. Financial Peace University is available as a part of your Ramsey Plus membership. You don't have to live with a stressed out Christmas. Make 2020 the year you finally start winning with money. Go to Financial Peace University, give it as a gift, join it at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Rhonda is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Rhonda. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm fine. Thank you so much for taking my call. Are you well?
We are. How can we help?
Yay. Okay, so we have absolutely no debt. We own 2 homes, one in Arizona and one in Florida. We own 4 cars, no debt.
Way to go.
Right. So my father just passed away in June, and I am the beneficiary of his estate, which means that I got about $400,000 cash.
Wow.
So I have it split in 2 credit unions to protect it from, insurance and NCUA.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what to do to, invest it safely, or I'm at a loss of what to do.
Okay. All right. What are your other investments in? Do you have other investments?
My husband's retiring from the city of Los Angeles, so he has a pension, and he has about $340,000 in deferred comp, and we have that in the conservative profile.
And that's the only investment you have?
Yes, besides the real estate that we have, yes.
Gotcha. And how old are you guys?
Mid-50s.
Good. Very well. Good done. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're 100% debt-free, you're on what we call baby step 7. And when you get a found money, a big check of some kind, as a high net worth individual, which is where you are, I always remind people, whether they're NFL superstars or whether they're Rhonda in Phoenix, or whether it's Dave and Sharon Ramsey, there's 3 things you can do with money, and you should always do all 3. Number 1, you can invest it. Number 2, and you should. Number 2, you should enjoy it, and you should. And number 3, you should give it, and you should. So I would first earmark what percentage of the money that's coming in is going to go to each of those categories. And you can decide. I don't care. But just, I'm going to put this percentage towards lifestyle. There's a few odds and ends we want to do. We want to spruce up the house. We want to buy a classic car. We want to go on a trip. I don't care. Say I'll just make up a number. You can decide later if it's the right number. I'm not suggesting it, but as an example, we're going to spend 10% of this on fun. So that's $40,000. Fun. Okay. We're going to invest 60% of this, and we're going to give 30% of this. And we don't have to do it instantaneously in one check, but we've just earmarked it for that, so that when we spend the money on ourselves, we don't feel guilty and we don't feel like we're out of control. When we invest the money, we don't feel selfish. And when we give the money, we don't feel like, oh gosh, did we do something wrong, or did we give too much, or did we not give enough? You decide all of that ahead of time, put those dollars in 3 different buckets. In your mind, the money's already gone. Now you've all just got to actually do the transaction so that it is gone. So it might take you 2 years to spend that $40,000 on yourself. It might take you 3 years to give away the portion of the generosity. It might take you 6 months to make a decision on your investing. As far as the investing goes, I personally would just tell you either to buy some real estate that you pay cash for if you love real estate, or buy some mutual funds, which is what I do. I do those 2 things. And so if you're going to sit down with if you're going to do some investing in mutual funds, it doesn't sound like you've got a lot of background in that. You would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, go to RamseySolutions.com, click SmartVestor. You'll find the people we recommend. They'll sit down with you and start learning about mutual funds, because we're about to put a big chunk in mutual funds here. But the big thing here is make the decisions ahead of time before the money leaves. It keeps all the emotions and the regret and the financial hangover from happening. You don't do stress spending, or you don't feel weird about daddy's money went to this or that.
Yeah, and I would maybe the giving portion is something that you and your dad shared in common, right? That was something that was important to both of you, and that can be a way you can honor that money there and go have some fun with it. I love that.
And a good thing to always do, John, I think, is, Dad obviously did pretty well.
Yeah.
And I always just think of Dad sitting in heaven. Does he like this? Am I doing something that he'd be proud of?
Yeah.
with this generosity, with this expenditure. You know, Dad always liked such and such, and he always wanted to go to Africa. So we're going to Africa, and we're going to spend $20,000 on a 3-week trip or whatever. I don't know what the number is, but I mean, and Dad would be proud of that, you know, or Dad would, you know, it's his legacy.
Yep.
And so you just think about, is this something that would make your daddy smile?
Yeah. And is this something I'm going to pass along to our kids? It's going to help them smile, you know?
Exactly. And make him smile too, because his legacy keeps going. So the fact that you didn't just waste it all with no plan or intentionality, very seldom is that honoring to the person who left it to you.
Almost never. But how wise are you? He passed in June, and you immediately put it in an account and a credit union, just walked away from it for a season. That's brilliant. Good for you.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah.
Trish is with us in Fort Worth, Texas. Hi, Trish. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call, Dave. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, so just to jump into it, my husband and I are trying to figure out if in the next 5 years it makes any sense for us to start buying into some family property that my parents own. There's currently a large house on the property and then a good-sized guest house. And the plan would be that in 5 years, we would potentially move out there, take over the large house. My parents would move to the guest house, and we would start paying them, monthly and start accruing equity in the property. And part of that's because we have a baby. The school districts out here are a lot better than where we currently live. But it's trying to figure out financially if that would be a wise move for us. We're currently in baby steps 5 and 6. And I will also say that the family property is quite leveraged. My parents did a refinance, so there is some decent debt on the property as it stands. Are you there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm just,
I don't like this.
There's no way I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You don't own anything.
Okay.
You don't own anything.
So even if we would, correct. So even if and the thought too, so we currently own a house where we live, is that we would put some equity in up front.
Yeah, but you don't own anything. It's in their name and it's leveraged.
Well, we would, get some consult with like a estate planner and all of that, so that we would start.
Yeah, but you can't. The title, you can't split this title up. It's leveraged.
Gotcha. Okay.
You don't own anything.
So as long as there's debt on it, there's just that.
Well, they're not going to be able to put the title in your name.
Okay.
Because they'd have to pay off the mortgage to put the title in someone else's name.
I guess they could carve off 10 acres in the house and
not
sell
unless
it.
Not unless there's a release clause in this mortgage, and there's not. So they'd have to refinance again.
Yeah. The whole thing. Yep.
Okay.
So how much property is involved?
13 acres. So it's not huge. 13 acres. Yeah.
Yeah. Hypothetically, if it was paid for, you could subdivide it, and the partial that you're going to live on, they could actually title it to you. You could put the money into that, and they could owner finance the difference, which I still probably wouldn't do, but at least that way there's some semblance of protection. But no, you can't just write checks for somebody else's property. That's very unwise. You're just asking for trouble. No. Please don't do this. You're going to do it anyway. Please don't do this. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Ryan is with us, winning the best-dressed debt-free Scream Award.
Ever.
Yes. Ever.
Brother,
that
usually
is
exactly
it's never had a full-on suit.
It is usually people in their bathing
suits. You look like you're ready to break out in a Frank Sinatra song right now, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, I figured if you're coming to do your debt-free Scream, why not look like $1 million, right?
Thank you. Everybody,
right? Yes. Dress for success. I'm just saying. Look at you, man. Where are you from?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Awesomeness. How much have you paid off?
I have paid off $120,000.
That'll work.
Yeah.
And how long did this take you?
17 months.
Wow. And your income during that time?
I went from $45,000 all the way to $140,000.
Whoa. What do you do for a living?
So I DJ weddings on the weekends. I work for a nonprofit. I'm an IT consultant. So I have full-time salary with them and hustle like I hustled like none other this last year. Yeah.
So is this the DJ look?
It is. So
with the
my
voice,
DJ
you got
name...
the voice. You got a great set of pipes.
Thank you.
You got the look. I'm just saying, man. This is. I bet you're making some money doing that.
Yeah. So I go by DJ 007. So this is kind of like my uniform.
That's even better.
Well played, man.
Well done.
Yes,
That's awesomeness. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for dressing up for us, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
Very cool. What kind of debt was the $120,000?
$20,000 to the IRS and $100,000 to Sallie Mae student loans.
That's simple.
Yep,
How'd you get $20K into the KGB? How did 007 end up owing the IRS?
So,
your small business that you didn't pay taxes on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I started out. I was one of the borrowed future casualties, right? I went to University of Michigan right out of high school, out of state. And that was the thing to do, right? Just go to the best school you get accepted to.
What's your degree in?
I didn't get a degree. So I was there for 4 years, just signing papers, taking whatever classes I could to stay enrolled. Had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. 4 years went by like that and burned out. Dropped out, never went back, and left with $80K in debt and $20K accrued in interest over the years. And I, just started to fly under the radar over the years, just being self-employed and just letting that interest accrue and just, taxes on my, unpaid taxes on income. So... yeah, I discovered you in 2006, started listening to your radio show. I got choked up anytime I would hear a debt-free scream, and I was like, man, that'll be me someday once I get the right job, but, I'll wait on it. Even tried to, throw $200 a month at my loans at the time, but that was barely covering interest. I got discouraged, jumped off the wagon. Fast forward to 2015, got a good job. I was like, okay, I'm back on the wagon, took Financial Peace University, bought my next car in cash, started Ubering, got excited, lost the job about 6 months later or so, got discouraged, jumped off the wagon again. Finally, 2020 rolls around. I've been DJing for about four years or so, making good money, and I'm just like, all right, this is good, but I can do more. I can finally, hit some goals this year. So I was like, all right, let me get a full-time job. So I got a salary job on top of my weddings, and I was ready to rock and roll. Boom, COVID hits.
No more weddings.
All of my hustles stopped.
Yeah.
No more Ubering, no more weddings, no more dancing, dance instruction. It was just all came to a halt. So I got kind of discouraged, but what? COVID was the wake-up call I never knew I needed. And I suddenly became really aware of my mortality. And I was like, wow, what would I regret if I were to, bite the bullet this year? And I was ready to commit to a 3-year plan, prior to COVID. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I want to do this as fast as humanly possible. And I just waited patiently for the opportunity to hustle again. And sure enough, end of the summer, weddings started to pick up again. And deliveries absolutely exploded. I did every app you can think of, Uber, DoorDash. Grubhub.
Just working
Amazon,
all the time.
Yes. Waking up 7 a.m., driving before work, driving during my lunch break, driving, when I get off, on the weekends when I'm not doing weddings. So just hustling as much as humanly possible.
That drove your income way up, and then you just thumped it.
Yeah. And I got so excited by the momentum that I was having that, I just got on fire, man.
So when people hear this story, and I love that it's so real, fell off the wagon, jumped off the wagon, you said. I like that better than fell off. I jumped off twice. I intentionally quit 2 times, and then I come back around, and then finally a little bit of existential stuff hits, and you go, oh, don't really want to be remembered for this.
Right.
So we got to get this knocked out. It's time to do this. And the mortality of COVID, it woke a lot of people up to have some meaning to stuff they're doing. That's good. That's a good wake-up call. And it's game on. So now, people hearing the story, what do you tell them the net key is to getting out of debt? Once you decided to do it, what was it?
It's having the big picture, writing it down. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And seeing your progress, like paying attention to your money, whether you're using every dollar or another app. I mean, one thing I've found helped me, because we live in such a digital age with, debit cards and such, is just keeping a digital register of every dollar that you're spending, just like you advise people to do. So, no matter what I spent, like I immediately would record it in my phone, like as I spent it, so that I could feel it, even though we can't feel it with the exchange, like you always say, but I could feel something every time. I could see the number go down. It was like, so that's important.
What was the difference this time? Because your income shot up after your resolve kicked in.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. The other two times when the income dropped, you gave up. Mm-hmm. What's the difference?
The difference this time, I think, was just the wake-up call to mortality and just a
bigger why.
A bigger why, absolutely. The why.
Rather than I need to do this, is I've got to do this.
Right. And I always thought it was just so far out of reach. Even planning, I was just like, oh, this is going to take me 3 to 5 years. And it always seemed like, too far ahead in advance to plan. But I guess one thing about DJing weddings is I started having to plan my life like years in advance. Like people are booking you like 1 to 2 years in advance. So I'm like, all right, well, if I know I'm going to be making this kind of money for the next 2 or 3 years, like why don't I just buckle down and sacrifice and, just get it out of my life. And
how does it feel to be free?
It feels amazing. Like I cannot describe it. Like when I finally paid off that lump sum, like I was just in tears for like 20 to 30 minutes. Like
it's like I'm gonna roll into a building on a Tuesday in a tuxedo, baby. That's how I feel. Free absolutely. I feel. It's incredible, man.
Well done. Very proud of you, sir. You're a hero. You took control of your life. Very well done.
You changed my family
tree. And you didn't give up. You didn't give up, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Kept going.
Copy of The Legacy Journey. That's the next chapter in your story to be a baby steps millionaire. You're on your way. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover coming to you as well for you to give away and light somebody else's world up. So
absolutely.
You got a lot of style, man. It's an honor to have you. Very well done.
Honor to be here.
Very well done. Ryan, DJ 007 in the tux to do the debt-free scream. I love this guy.
If you're getting married in Pittsburgh, we got your guy.
So fun. Yeah, apparently we got the best DJ on the planet here. This is awesome. $120,000 paid off in 17 months, making 45 to 140. Count it down, Ryan. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
There you go, baby. Woo! This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Psalm 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Bill Bradley said, ambition is the path to success. Persistence is the vehicle you arrive in. Ooh, that's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Perseverance is the thing. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Up next, Jacob is calling. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So my fiance and I are getting married in May of 2022, and we are going to be paying for the majority of our wedding ourselves. And I was just wondering whether you would recommend one person paying for the wedding. Maybe me and my fiance splitting it half and half. I know you probably don't suggest opening a bank account for the wedding. I was just wondering what your opinion was on that.
I don't mind opening a bank account for the wedding, and both of you fund it, and both of you have access to it. This is a venture that we are doing together prior to being married, and so we can fund it. I just wouldn't share all your finances prior to the wedding, meaning I would share the knowledge of them, but not the transactions. Don't act like you're married legally before you are. You get yourself in a pinch. But so I don't care who pays for the wedding. I don't know that there's a moral thing here. I mean, if you want to go old-fashioned, the bride's parents pay for it, right? That's old-fashioned. Obviously, that's not what's going down here. So why would one of you or the other bear more of the cost? Is there a reason?
No, there's no reason. I was just wondering whether it makes more sense to take it out of one person specifically or just to keep it half and half.
Seems like there's something else underneath this question. Because if the wedding goes off, then
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the following afternoon.
Yeah. I was just looking for your guys' opinion.
Do both of y'all have the cash to fund this wedding?
Yes.
Okay. What do you make?
I make about 42.
What does she make?
About 35.
Okay. Do both of you have about the same amount of debt?
Neither of us have debt.
Okay. Sounds like everything's pretty equal.
Yeah, we're pretty much on the same territory as far as baby steps go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, it would, like if you call me up and you said, I make 30 and my fiance makes 200 and she wants to pay for more of the wedding, I would go, well, that mathematically kind of makes sense, but it's not like a moral obligation or something wrong. And John's right. As soon as you come home from the ceremony, the honeymoon, it doesn't matter anyway because it's all combined at that point, and the net effect is exactly the same after the wedding.
Part of me likes the idea of y'all two going to get a checking account wherever you're going to bank as your joint account, and she puts $5,000 in, you put $5,000, whatever you're paying for this wedding, and y'all work from there, and then that's your account, and you close your two separate accounts when you're married. Part of me likes that, and part of me thinks, man, weddings are so stressful. Just somebody pay for this thing, let's get it over with. Sounds like 6 of one, half dozen another, but I don't know.
It'd be okay if you fund it together, and I'll go ahead and give you the other piece of advice, and that is weddings are like anything else. They're a project, and you should do some planning on them. And set a budget, set a boundary, and say, okay, we're going to spend X, and here's how much of X we're going to spend on the photographer. Here's how much we're going to spend on the reception. Here's how much we're going to spend on the dress. Here's how much we're going to spend on the preacher. Here's how much we're going to spend on the honeymoon. And the total is the amount that we're going to have in the account. Not more, not less. We're going to have spent the money. And then if you get in there and you go, well, the reception is, they want to put these flowers out, and the flowers are, well, they're not in our budget. Well, they're not in the budget, so we don't put them out. And so, you have to have some guidelines ahead of time because you're going to bump up against a no, and if the no is not brought to you by your plan, then it sounds like one of you is deciding over the other one what's going on, and you go, hey, you can't do an $8,000 dress. We had $800 budgeted for the dress.
And that's what I don't like, because then it's, well, I'm paying for the dress then, and you pay for this, and then I'll pay, and then now we're talking division, right?
Yeah. You need an overall budget that you agree to for the project. It's how you build a house. It's how you do a wedding. It's how you do anything that's project-based, is you start with the line-itemed budget, and then, you may have to make a few adjustments along the way, but we've got an agreed-to value system of what this wedding is going to be. We care more about the reception than we do about the flowers.
Yep.
So we're going to put this more money on it, or we care more about the flowers than we do about the reception. So we're going to put this money on it. And you decide that up front. And then when you get down in the emotion of bridezilla or whatever, picking stuff out, then it doesn't all blow up in your face, or it shouldn't. If it does, you got other issues.
Right.
Josh is with us in Seattle. Hey, Josh, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on with you.
We're honored to have you. How can we help?
Yeah, so I am actually a second generation following your principles, Dave, financial success. And I'm currently in a spot where I am really wanting to buy a new car. I'm a natural spender, and I've saved up for it. And with the craziness of the market, normally I would buy used, but at the price of the car and based on my financial situation, I'm wondering if it's okay if I celebrate and move forward in that way.
Are you a millionaire?
I'm not a millionaire yet.
Then I wouldn't buy a new car.
Okay. Does the price of the car and the rest of my financial situation matter, though?
No, because you don't have enough net worth to absorb the loss of a brand new vehicle.
Okay.
You can buy it if you want to buy it, but I wouldn't. What's the value? What car are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's Ford's new little pickup truck. It's like $22,000.
Okay.
And I've got the cash saved up for it, plus rolling in my current car's value, and yeah.
Okay. And your income is what?
My income's about $100,000 a year.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay. All right.
So, Josh, I can tell you what I did. My wife, when we needed a new car, and Dave takes care of my family pretty well, and I went and bought a used car. And I did that about 3 weeks ago. And I walked on and wrote a check for a car on the car lot down the street here, and then I drove home. And so that's what I'm doing in my house, man. And even if it was $5,000 difference between a 2018 and a 2021, whatever the thing was, 2019, I don't remember what year it was. Even if it is $3,000, $5,000, I'm not going to give them that money. Not on a car like that.
Okay, here's the thing. The way you're structuring your sentences and the way you've asked the question tells me you have a really bad case of car fever. You are really sucked in and in love with this little truck. You have bought it, you have driven it, you've fantasized over it, and now you're rationalizing the purchase of it.
It's going to give you muscles, your hair's going to grow back, all the things.
It's going to make you sexy, it's going to do all this, and it's just, none of this is true. It's a stupid little truck.
Yeah.
And they all go down in value, and you can do whatever you want to do, Josh. You're a grown man, okay? But you called and asked me. The rule of thumb that I've used for 30 years, and it's served me well, is don't buy a brand new vehicle, because vehicles go down in value unless you have a huge net worth and the ability to accept the loss of value. Well, with COVID and the crazy car market, and I know, but they're going to go down in value. They're not going up. 5 years from now, things are going to be worth nothing. And 10 years from now, it's going to be worth double nothing. And that's what they do. That's what all of them do. And so you just decide how much of that you want to absorb. And it's probably not going to cause you to go bankrupt. It's probably not going to hold you back that much. But it is a good rule of thumb to not buy the largest thing we all buy that goes down in value, to buy the worst possible scenario of it going down in value, which is brand new, unless you've got a large net worth to absorb it. It's that simple.
It's not a principle.
It's just arithmetic.
I just did it.
It's just arithmetic. And so, but you can do whatever you want, son. It's okay. I mean, we'll still be friends, but I wouldn't advise it. John, good show today.
I agree. And also with you.
Very well done. And Austin's on the phones, and James is running the booth in there. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.